All right, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. Snow has befallen our fair city, my friend.
Great.
Ha-ha!
No,
we
not
look great
great.
in the cream, though, don't we?
Not great.
We look great in the creams.
We do.
The creamsicles are out.
Splendid in our
Yeah,
creams.
these are gorgeous,
Yeah.
gorgeous.
I love that we both had the same idea.
It's the perfect coat for this weather.
It is.
Because
Couldn't
it's
be
plenty
better.
warm
Yes.
and yet not too warm. It's not too bulky.
No.
And so in this weather, it's
And
fantastic.
it's beautiful.
Yeah. How much snow did you get?
A lot.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 inches,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Quite a bit.
Gibby, how much did you get?
Way more than I was anticipating. I thought I might get a dusting. Everybody kept saying east. Woke up at like 2 a.m. because that's what I do these days.
Nice.
I don't
That's
sleep
convenient.
anymore.
That's very convenient.
And
Try
looked
booze.
outside,
Try
uttered
booze.
about 5 minutes of curse words, and
Like 5 inches?
it's
Or
probably
like
3 or 4.
3 or 4. That's where
Yeah.
we're
That's where we're all at.
We're all at. We're a little blanket.
Yeah.
Blanket. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bootsy had the breaking news. We had the big Halloween last night, and he had the breaking news. It's snowing. It's snowing. I'm like, it's not snowing. You out of your mind? And then I saw as it was hitting the lights from the street that sure enough, we did
He
have
was
it.
thinking
Yeah.
snow day, wasn't he?
Yeah. It's funny. It's the first thing he said this morning when he saw it. It's so funny you say that. I forgot because it was been so long ago. He popped up. He looked outside and he goes, "Snow day?" And I said, "No, 3 inches. That's not going to get you a snow day, brother.
Get yourself
We're not
together,
there,
kid.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
we're not there.
The amazement of never ceases to amaze, and I'm sure I was like this when I was a kid. The notion that for 360 some days of the year, you are told no on candy. You can have none. It's not bad. It's bad for you.
I don't know if you're get told not. People still have candy.
Well, you
They're
have it,
in
but like
business.
it's not
They're
like
in
if you,
business.
I think even less so now than we were when we were kids. Like it was common when I would go to the grocery store with my mom, when she'd like, "You get a candy bar." Like that never happens. Like, we're never
no.
like get a candy bar. Like that never
No.
happens. So like the idea though that on this one night, the price is dress up as something that you like or something cool or something scary.
Or in many cases, as I saw
Or-
last night, don't dress up at all. What are
Don't
you?
dress up at all.
I'm a teenager. Okay. Here's your candy.
You got one of those?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a teenager.
Yeah, she's like, I'm a mean girl. I'm like, how about be nice and maybe give us a little more effort on the costume?
Good for you. Yeah, hold accountable.
Yeah.
How about a toothbrush for you?
Yeah.
As opposed to I like that. That's good.
I had my buddy, hold on, you're going to love this. You're going to love this. So I'm on the phone with Jimmy Bang Bang yesterday, and he's getting ready for Halloween. I'm like, oh, yeah, I got the kids coming now. I got
Yeah.
the candy all put out. He's like, oh, man, I got no candy. He's like, oh. He's like, I got individually wrapped mint lifesavers. I was like, don't do that. That's worse than giving nothing.
Agreed.
Worse
Yeah.
than turning the lights off. I said,
I
don't
agree
do
with
that,
you.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
And he agreed.
Yeah.
Jimmy, by the way, Jimmy's on his way to Myrtile
Myrtile.
for a golf trip.
Oh,
And he
boy.
had never watched. He's been. I'm like, you need to watch download
Is
the
it
entire
this
Myrtile portion.
Third season, I believe, is when he goes to Myrtile.
Oh yeah, I sent him the Myrtile opening
If
for
he
the
would
first
like
one where he
some
walks
fine
on the beach,
establishments
and then
to
he goes
go
out
to.
there on his. Trying to get his good base layer going, and then he goes out there on his boogie board with the surfers, and they called him a sponge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a
Quite
lot of
good.
There's a lot of good in that.
I might have to
2.5
run that back.
minutes.
Yeah, give me-
I was going to say, I can give you some establishments to go to.
Gibby's the
Some
king of
above
Myrtile.
board,
Of
some,
course he is.
Not so great.
Of course he is
Yeah,
the
he's
king
the-
of
he's the
Myrtile.
king of Myrtile.
Of course he is.
But yeah, so the candy accumulation was spectacular.
I'm sure.
And now there will come a point here in the next month or so where we slowly siphon it because there's no way that you can allow them to eat that much over the course of amount of time. And it just would not
And I
go
found
well.
last night we had the fewest number of trick-or-treaters that we've ever had by a wide margin. In fact, I was starting to give out 3 and 4 candies a pop because we have a candy surplus, the likes of which the world has never seen.
I wonder if it's so. I wonder. This is but another buddy of mine had a similar experience, and
So did Gibbe.
You had that experience too. So I wonder if what's happening is as kids move, people move into neighborhoods with little kids grow up, parents still live in neighborhoods. They stop trick or treating, and the next batch of young parents isn't moved in yet.
If you are in a development,
That's what I think.
it is a big, big night. I had 6 kids last night. I had great candy, lots of good stuff.
Yeah.
I
I
had
did
6.
too.
They made out really
So
well.
many Reese's
Everybody got
Pieces.
3 of everything.
I busted. I had to go into one last night.
Of course you're gonna. You kidding me? It's just sitting there.
And the small one's 60 calories. I'm like, this is
No big
free.
deal. No big deal.
Oh God,
You're safe.
It's
Pal.
delicious. They get the shell is so perfectly thin and gives just enough chocolate
perfect.
into the peanut butter. It really is It really is incredible. It really is.
NBC was a pretty good Johnny Lawrence, so we did a pretty good one of that.
Oh, yeah.
Even has the hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he got that pretty good. We did a pretty good Johnny
like
Lawrence.
that.
Yeah, we did the makeup. I did the teeth. The blonde did the rest of it. He
No,
did pretty good.
that's legit.
Yeah.
Did we ever get we were no shower? Nobody ever got to be the
Last minute, kid bails on wanting to be the shower. I go, come on. What are we doing?
The shower's iconic.
You got to have that part
You're
of it.
out of the friend group.
It could be because I framed it all as that Johnny Lawrence was the aggrieved in Karate Kid.
I know, and that was a bad job by you.
They all wanted to be the cool kids. Nobody
No,
wanted to
they're
be
not. The
shower.
Cobra Kai,
So
they're
at the
bad.
last
They're
minute,
dastardly.
they're the best around. So the
Nothing's ever gonna
the one that ends up doing it was
It's on my workout playlist.
DK Metcalf. I'm like, really? This is the switch to DK Metcalf?
After
Yeah.
what just happened?
I know. I know it.
This hurts
Let
my
me know.
heart.
I'll go TP that kid's house
This
tonight.
hurts my heart.
And then the other thing that is very common was the theme of like, hey, I'm going to be blank football player as a ruse to get a new jersey. Is really all. it is.
There was a lot of
a
that.
lot of that. Like, hey, I'm
Lot
going
of
to
that.
be. Bootsy tried that. He's like, yeah, I think I'm going to be Justin Jefferson.
Sure you are.
I said, interesting. I mean, he's a great player for sure, and it's a cool uniform. I get it. But I said, I didn't really know. I've always liked the Vikings, Dad. Really? And I know he's always had. I've said before, like they get secondary teams.
Yeah,
So in the
absolutely.
event we're not in it, there's another rooting interest. So like, and his secondary team was the Vikings, but his entire angle was to get a New Jersey. That was the whole operation.
By the way, respect.
Yeah, it's good
I
way
respect
to
it.
think around it. So there you go. And it is. It was a nice night though. Very good.
Good.
Oh my God. I'll save that for later. We might need the levity. All right. It is.
Let's hope not. Let's have today be full of just.
Well, we'll know more at 1:45.
Yeah, I want
Coach
joy.
will speak at 1:45.
I want joy.
So
That's what
I'll
I'm
keep
looking
that
for.
story in the pocket because it's
Hold on to it.
pretty good. We might need it. It is November, kids. Home for Arizona on Sunday. Baltimore after that, in Baltimore, then Pittsburgh, then at Denver. That is the stretch. We are back at practice today. Coach will speak at 1:45. We imagine that we hope that there's some clarity on the plan at quarterback. I hope that the clarity isn't day to day because, as your friend likes to say, aren't we all? So hopefully
then again,
there's-
aren't
hopefully
we
there's
all?
some. Just some.
By the way,
I even appreciated last week where it was like, yeah, PJ's playing, Sean's going to rest. Okay, fine. Then
It
we
was
know what
right
is
off
and we
the
go.
get-go.
Yep, I know what it is. Let's go. We can adjust to it. Let's go.
This week, while
Okay.
I appreciated the clarity of last week
Uh-huh.
and the lack of confusion, I am that outcome would make me sad for this week.
Okay.
I really want to see him play this week, and I think it's very important.
You're the only one, really.
Yeah, just me.
Just
so
you.
I don't want that.
All the rest of
I
us
don't
are
want-
like, yeah, let's keep throwing 50% of our passes complete. Let's keep doing that
we're-
stuff.
We're
Let's-
currently at 49.5.
49.5. Let's do that.
No
No,
big deal.
we all want it.
All right, good.
Yeah, we're the
I'm
collective
saying
we.
I want that over clarity. I'll take some
I'm
ambiguity.
hopeful. I'm hopeful for that.
Ambiguity right now gives us the Dumb and Dumber.
Here, I'm going to tell
so
you.
you're
though,
saying there's a
so
chance.
You're saying there's a chance. I'll say this about ambiguity. Ambiguity has to end positively, or it's far worse.
Agreed.
Then
Agreed.
if it ends negatively, then it's way worse.
Of
than,
course.
Hey, this is what we're doing this week, and we'll see on down the road next week.
My eyes.
You're a glass half full. You thrive on enthusiasm.
I'm an optimistic guy. Optimism.
You're a cockeyed optimist.
That's right.
That's what you are. Hey, we had a trade deadline yesterday.
Oh, did we?
3:02.
Not until 3 o'clock.
3:02. We got that news.
No. You're generous with that.
Was it
time.
3:01?
It was 3 o'clock.
On the dot. Nice. Good timing.
On the dot.
Donovan Peoples-Jones traded to Detroit for a 6th-round pick. I enjoy Donovan Peoples-Jones a great deal. He's been a great friend of this program. I remember him as a rookie. I remember how excited we were when they drafted him. You and I almost kind of willed it into existence, I felt
did.
like, doing that draft show. And we're hoping that he would be the guy. It was that way, and he came in and justified the drafting. It's an 800 yards last year.
862 last year.
The way he blocked as a rookie when he was thrust in Dallas, wasn't it?
Yes.
When he
First-
was like
or
the
839 last year.
perfect in blocking
It was
against
his
Dallas
first
as
play.
a rookie.
He pancaked somebody. It was
Yeah.
his very first play.
Yeah. So I don't. I mean, we. How does it get here? How do you get to this point where it's basically you draft a guy in a 6th-round pick, he far outplays the draft position, and then you trade him for a 6th-round pick?
He received the highest performance bonus in the NFL last year.
There you go.
The highest, and certainly was very deserving of it. Donovan Peoples-Jones, and I said it yesterday. I tweeted this out. I will miss him a great deal. He's one of the people that I have supported and rooted for and liked and cared about. He's on the short list of people that I've come across in my Cleveland Browns career that I felt that way about. He did everything the right way. Consummate professional, consummate teammate. You didn't hear him go to the media and cry one time this year.
No.
He has 8 catches for 97 yards. That's a joke. Now, it's not his fault. He's been open plenty. It's just the way that, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday, that, we got guys who are not really multiple read quarterbacks, and probably very few of our plays were designed necessarily for Donovan Peoples-Jones. Now he gets a chance to go to Detroit, and I think he's going to fit in very well, goes home. I think that he can unseat Josh Reynolds, as kind of their long-term big wide receiver to complement the speed of Jamison Williams, complement Amon-Ra St. Brown in the slot, Sam Laporta, but they are such a run-focused unit. He's a great run blocker, and that's the thing. Obviously, we could say this year his receiving production has not been there. Again, I will say it. I don't believe that it is his fault at all. That being said, if you watch a lot of our big runs, Donovan Peoples-Jones is the wide receiver down the field making that block. He is elite at it. He is big in pinning down in our pin pull scheme. So Cedric Tillman, who I would imagine is going to be the beneficiary, and the guy that you drafted in reality to replace him. You were
for sure
coming off of 839 going into this year. You expect maybe even more out of DPJ. You weren't going to be able to afford him. So Cedric Tillman was the succession plan all along for Donovan Peoples-Jones. So you draft somebody, you get 3 really good years out of him, 3+, and you get exactly back what you drafted him. So it's almost like a costless transaction to you. Does it make us better right now? I don't know. Maybe it means more time for Marquise Goodwin to maybe create some space, although we haven't seen him get going. He's got 3 catches for 10 yards. More time for Cedric Tillman. He's got 1 catch for 5 yards. These guys are going to have to step up now. But I will miss Donovan Peoples-Jones. His mom was a great fan. She'd come to all the training camps. She'd be at every single game. She was great.
I don't know how you could make an argument that you're better for this.
I don't think
right now you can't. I mean, he's almost a 1,000-yard receiver a year ago, and you've just illuminated all the blocking stuff that he does. So, this now opens it up for others to get in there and play. It also you get an asset back in a 6th-round pick is what you used on him.
By the way, I would be remiss if I didn't note that Donovan Peoples-Jones has played 439 snaps out of a possible 530. He played more snaps than any other receiver on our roster so far this year.
It's a big replace.
You're asking, there are a lot of snaps that are going to have to go somewhere else. And that's to me, I think that it's a loss that maybe won't show up in the stat sheet per se, but it is one in less. And then maybe Cedric Tillman says, you know what? I can block too. I'm 6'3", 215.
Sure.
I'm going to go out there and be a great blocking wide receiver for his football team and then hopefully make some plays. But it's not insignificant. It feels like the compensation was insignificant, and maybe they trade him for a 6th, and the reports out of Washington were that we offered a 6 to Washington. So maybe that was a way to trade DPJ for Brissett if that were to work out, but it did not, and now here we are. I'm going to miss him. I really liked him. He got better every year. Who can ever forget his catch against the Bengals, the walk-off winner in Week 7 of 2020, and then he kind of came out. That was it. He caught his first pass ever in that game. Gibbe, trivia for you right now. Uno, chance to get another win for you. Uno, you got to get over and you got to get near in case you're going to buzz in.
Buzzing in, Uno.
Donovan Peoples-Jones caught his first career pass.
Oh, I like this one.
From whom?
Gibbe.
Uno, you got anything?
Baker Mayfield.
Incorrect.
Incorrect. Uno.
Does he know?
Ooh, got a wild Jarvis Landry.
Yes!
Uno! U-N-O. Uno. Yes!
That's a great pull.
Gibbe, come on.
That's a great pull for the
kid. We've done this exact question on this program at least 5 times.
And I
That's
will
a good
continue
job.
to probably get it wrong.
It's a good job out of Uno.
Uno.
Strong showing out of him.
50-3, me. It's good. Oh, it's
job.
four.
Uno.
Don't sell them short.
Good job out of Uno on that.
We need like an Uno. Remember when UNLV had that good one, like U-N-L-V?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, yeah, we need that.
UNLV. That's when the running Rebs were.
That's when they were rolling.
They were rolling.
Stacey Ogman, LJ, Anderson Hunt, Greg Anthony, George Ackles.
The Shark, George Ackles, yeah.
Yeah. Squad right there.
Oh, baby.
So you had that happen yesterday afternoon. This roster otherwise was not added to at the trade deadline. There was, we mentioned some of this stuff happened during our show yesterday, but then in the middle of the night, the Raiders fire everybody. 1 o'clock in the morning. 10 o'clock Vegas time. Are they Mountain time or are they?
I don't know. I was driving in and I
West
heard.
Coast.
They're Pacific time? Okay.
I was driving
Oh,
in
yeah.
and I heard it happened. He got fired via a fortune cookie. That's what I heard on the radio.
Our guy, he's on it. He's on it. PMT was on it. He's on it. Yeah, he's tracked down all the right people. No,
Sources.
not. But he was fired. Josh McDaniels, Dave Ziegler, Mick Lombardi also fired by the Raiders yesterday. So Antonio Pierce is taking over as the head coach. This is a guy who was at Arizona State. Like
Had a little scandal, too.
he
going
sure
on.
did, like a year ago. Now he's going to coach. He's the team's coach from going
So
forward.
Safe harbor doesn't apply there?
No,
I mean, it applies, but
So the team is also going to start Aiden O'Connell at quarterback going forward. Jimmy Garoppolo has been benched. I do wonder, do you cut Garoppolo? Does he become available?
Why wouldn't they have just
Why they should
traded
have traded him
him?
yesterday, the bozos?
well, did
I
you see
know.
Did you see the quote from Josina I put in the rundown?
Interesting
There were
co-
teams trying to reach out.
All right, so here's from Josina. Interesting comment from a team that is still hoping to pry a playmaker from the Raiders on deadline day. Explains why they ghosted us yesterday. Nobody responded yesterday. So people were calling the Raiders and nobody picked up
Yeah,
the phone.
no one picked up the phone.
Oh, man. So now the Raiders are reportedly paying Josh McDaniels and big gap, but nevertheless it's a large sum of money for them not to coach the team depending on the Gruden settlement. Here's I'm going to give you let me just run something by you as a native of the Bay Area.
Love it.
And if you knew the for those out there, the Mark Davis financial situation, not liquid, not great.
Yep.
If Mark Davis doesn't get Vegas,
Yep.
is he, based on these two transactions, forced to sell the team?
It's a great question.
Possible. I mean, that's why they got rid of Khalil Mack in his prime. They could not
They couldn't
pay him.
write the check.
They could
so
not
he
write-
gets bailed out by Vegas.
Yeah.
And now he's
I
more
think-
liquid than he was ever. But he's
I think he probably just couldn't have gotten rid of them.
one of them would have remained. He would have had. I mean, Gruden was going to be gone. Like that felt like that was. But like McDaniels, probably he just
He should have
weathers
fought
it.
harder for Gruden. I'm curious to see how that lawsuit turns out for Gruden.
Me too. I am too. I think Gruden will do okay in that.
I do
lawsuit.
too.
I think it's
He's
gonna
going to do
work out
very
okay
well.
for him. Yeah.
But then
Yeah, but now this one. So, like, if he doesn't get Vegas, is he sitting in Oakland in the Oakland Alameda Coliseum, no new stadium in sight, and like it almost
I don't think it's a good scene.
no,
I don't think it's a good scene.
no.
No, it's a very good and valid point. That could have been a financial disaster because they were, and now I think probably from the time that, let's say, they had to trade Khalil Mack and all of that, and even before Vegas, like the way that the league is ramped up in terms of the money that goes
Yeah.
to clubs, he's probably would have been fine either way. But that's, you don't want to be throwing away
No,
$15 million a year in dead money to coaches that aren't coaching for you.
correct. Yeah, yeah.
Because Gruden was 10 for 100, right?
I think so. Wasn't that it? Was it 10, 100?
That's what I
think
thought
it
so.
was. Yeah, 10 years, 100 million. Yeah. So, yeah, that's where that is. And then the idea that like those were your two hires, both fail. And by the way, Gruden was a decent coach, maybe
Gruden would've been
based on their
fine.
talent, but like their inability to draft
Well, that was
Mayock and Gruden
Mayock.
in the first round is just a disaster.
Yes.
What they did. So yeah,
one of their
it's about-
first-round picks, I'm pretty sure, is on our practice squad. Leatherwood.
Oh hell yeah, the kid out of Alabama.
Yeah.
Who
A
was
high
like,
first rounder.
yeah.
Cleveland Furl was on the Niners. Actually played pretty well for
Yeah.
them.
Well, Ruggs is in jail.
Ruggs is in jail. Arnett.
Gary and Conley, Damon Arnett, two kids out of Ohio State.
And Arnett's not in the league.
Well, yeah. No, it's not great. The Jonathan
just
Abraham,
like-
the safety had a tech.
He at least had 1 year where he
was kind of a dude, but then he went.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not have
good on Hard Knocks.
how do you not have the wherewithal to just go, all right, we're going to do all this. We're going to bench. Like, Go make moves. People are calling you. Like, you want to build your capital.
They should have traded Garoppolo yesterday
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
Like Minnesota would have rather had Garoppolo than Dobbs, wouldn't
What
they?
are you doing?
Yes.
You know?
Just stupid.
Stupefying.
That Arthur Smith is so arrogant, but so he probably wouldn't have taken. Did you hear him today?
I can't.
We haven't heard. I haven't heard him, but I just saw.
There's an episode of South Park that was about smug, and instead of smog, it was smug,
Yeah.
and like people who had too much smug would just kind of evaporate.
Yeah.
That dude would be in danger.
Gone.
Gone.
So he just kept reiterating today that Heineke's for this week. Like he wants to go back to Ritter.
Really want to die on that hill, don't you?
They're a totally different team. With
Totally
Heineke.
different team. Yeah.
And by the way, with Heineke, it's still not good enough to actually do anything.
No.
But
Or to
Good enough to
justify
win your
drafting
division.
Bijan
good
Robinson.
enough,
but
to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. We will get some winners and losers from the trade deadline day. Remember, Coach Stefanski going to talk around 1:45. We will carry that for you live. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Bally Bet. Sports betting partner, your Cleveland Browns, now live in Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Be sure to check out the Browns social media channels daily to play the Browns digital scratch-off game for your chance to win club seats and other great prizes. Presented by the Ohio Lottery, the official lottery of your Cleveland Browns. In addition to all of those other things yesterday, my guy Arthur Smith, Tyler Heineke, going to get the start on Sunday, but only Sunday. The Vikings are going to start Jaron Hall, so that is a Taylor Heineke, Jaron Hall.
So they are not.
Gross.
They're not going Dobbs.
It's what it appears right now.
They'd have to get, yeah. I mean, at least Hall knows all this stuff.
I know, but the guy started.
The current NFL quarterback situation is borderline unwatchable. I've said it.
I don't like your
Hot
I don't
take
like
city.
your negativity.
Sucks. There's a lot of bad ball playing at that position right
Listen,
now.
we've had 3 of the most entertaining games and finishes possible with P.J. Walker at quarterback.
But you and I have a vested interest in us.
That's right.
If you didn't, it wouldn't. Know what I mean?
Dang.
I don't know if he's wrong on that.
So,
Me neither.
I mean, let's count them.
We
You
did
got-
it yesterday.
I just want to get the final number of quarterbacks I like watching. Allen and Tua, Lamar, Burrow, CJ, Lawrence. Russ, you got to – I mean, he's doing okay. The yardage isn't – the yards per attempt
Mahomes,
is garbage,
Herbert.
but he throws it. Mahomes, Herbert, so they get you to 9. Dak is 10.
Hold on,
Hurts
we
is-
might want to – Will Levis so far. We might want to watch some Will Levis.
do it 2 weeks in a row.
Gardner Minshew?
Wait,
Gunslinger?
So I'm at 11 with Hurts.
Dak?
I did him already.
Okay.
Goff would be 12.
Yep. That's the only one in that.
That's it. In the South, there's nothing. In the West, you've got
You could say you'd watch Derek Carr every now and then.
no.
I wouldn't.
Not on prime time.
Stafford in the West.
Purdy.
I don't know. He's could be on the chopping block according to Pedro.
No, he's not on the chopping block.
Yeah, Pedro says that.
Purdy and then
Now Kyler's coming back next
Kyler will
week,
be-
so that'll
yeah.
help.
Next week, please.
Yeah,
he is
I think
coming
so.
back next week.
It'll be next week. Yeah. you said.
Um,
So it's like a 12. Well, it seems like what happens, like there's, I guess the bigger issue as we were going through that is there are several divisions that have nobody. Like there's nobody in the South I care to see.
Yeah.
And there's 3/4 of the North I don't care to see in the NFC. So all of a sudden when those teams play, what are we watching?
Gross.
And I will just
Gross
say
ball.
this. Somehow, NBC refuses to flex out of games.
So what is the point? I saw this going around today that they're going to do Jets, so
Raiders.
Jets and Raiders
Week
are
10.
a Sunday night football game in Week 10, and it's going to be the second time in like 5 days that the Jets are going to be in prime time or something like that.
Yes.
And twice
for
in
the
the course
Raiders.
of a week or so that the Raiders are going to be in prime time.
Yeah.
So
Same time in
why are
13
they
days.
not moving out? Are they saving their flops for later? What is the
I don't
motivation?
know. Like this past Sunday, I know why they kept it because it was L.A. and Chicago. It was the big TV markets. That's why they kept that. But you knew it was going to be a trash game.
Yeah, for sure.
But
If we win, us against the Ravens is far more compelling.
100%. So I do
that game might have been protected that week because I believe, are going to be Fox A game. We're on Fox for that AFC versus AFC.
Bo.
question.
Yes.
Is there only a certain amount of swaps they can make?
I don't believe so.
Are they capped or do
I
they
think
get infinite?
once it's open swap season, I think you could swap all you want. Swap till you drop.
See, that's the way it used to be, but I don't know in the new way if it is with this new deal because to your point, our game against the Ravens is a Fox game. That was always would have been a CBS game.
Yep.
But that's
So
in the
new
way that
package,
it's drawn.
In the new package, I don't know if NBC has quite the unilateral pull that they did previously.
I think there are games that are protected from them every week.
Okay. And then they can
That's
pull.
and I
So there must
believe
not have
Browns
been-
Ravens was protected.
Yeah. So there's probably not anything else that they can
If Gibby says it, it must be so.
Hold on.
saying it emphatically. You don't look, just stay.
Just stay. We
People
believe
would
in
trust you.
I
No,
trust
I'm
you.
looking up the NBC. How many games?
Were you we talked a little bit about some of the winners and the losers in the trade deadline. The Niners win very big, getting Chase Young for a third-round pick. By the way, if he leaves, the compensatory
Will be a
comes
third-round
right
pick.
back.
Yeah.
So
And they have like
nothing.
3 compensatory thirds that were all in a row anyway.
Nothing.
Because Rand Carthon
yeah.
and because of DeMeco.
All right. So NBC Sunday night NFL can flex games into and out of NBC Sunday Night Football window twice between weeks 5 and 10, which they've only flexed one, I believe.
Oh, week 10's next. It's already.
Yeah.
What one have they
And
flexed?
as many times as it wants between weeks 11 and 17.
What have they flexed?
Okay.
What changed?
There was
Did they flex out of a Jets or something? Because they showed the Patriots and Jets all the time.
There was
They've been so
one
big on
game
those.
that was flexed.
Into a Sunday night?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because
Feels
that
like you'd
Sunday
use the
nighter
second
went
one.
to 4:30. It was just a couple weeks ago.
This is beautiful. This cream.
I'm
really
working
is.
on it.
It's the juxtaposition with the brown and orange. It's just flawless. The brown just shimmers in it.
Agreed. How did starter go from just dominating the jacket, like a good sports jacket was a starter in much the
Yeah.
same way that like a Polaroid,
Yeah.
like they were. I mean,
I think.
numerous
They
starters.
had the pullover winter ones
The
too.
pullover
that had
ones
the
was
zip
the
with
greats.
the flap,
the half zip, and then you had
half
your
zip
hands
in the
there.
hand,
Yeah,
and then you got the
pocket.
flop here, and you
You got the
you're
two
right in
colors
there.
on the shoulders.
That's right. Yeah.
I had a great.
I think my guys at Homage are selling those now too.
I had obviously the Hornets, duh.
of course. Yeah.
And I had a great San Jose Sharks because that was a beautiful. That's great. Black teal.
Yeah. That was
Good combo.
You're a big teal guy as a kid. You like that teal?
I did. I like the teal.
Like the teal.
I was.
Teal's strong. Yeah. Teal's strong.
Teal is strong.
Yeah. I think my brother had the Hornets and I had the Orlando Magic. Must have been something like we had to get expansion teams or something. I don't know.
I feel like it was week 6 because Bills Giants ended up being the game on Sunday night.
Yeah.
But I feel like they flexed out like Rams Cardinals or
Could be.
Tampa Bay Detroit. I know Tampa Bay Detroit moved that week.
Yeah, I remember that too.
And
That it moved, but I thought it moved
I moved
into
to get more prominence.
moved
Yeah.
into like a 4:00 window is the way that I remembered that
Yeah.
one.
Same.
I don't know, but again, you have 2 flexes and you didn't use any of them, and you definitely had opportunities.
You know what bugs me
It
about
was freezing
yesterday?
up on a Sunday night.
Yeah, well, that's true. This honestly is, other than like your game that you care about, there's nothing this weekend. It's not great NFL. It's not.
What?
Our game's good, and then the game in Germany's good.
Isn't the Sunday night
night game.
Bengals?
Oh no, Bills Bengals. That's right.
Yeah.
The afternoon slate.
Yeah, got it.
Lax. Bills Bengals. So you can do Chiefs Dolphins, which is awesome. That's Sunday morning.
Yep.
And then you get that one, and then ours is there. But it's the rest of the slate.
I like that because I don't really get to watch the 4 o'clock, so I don't mind that. I'll come home.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get a little beef soup going.
I like
don't know.
that.
Can't say I wouldn't.
Who's going to blame you?
Not me.
Nobody would. It disappointed me yesterday. We went over a lot of the trades that happened, some of the winners and losers, Niners and Bears, and some of the activity there. The only other thing that it annoyed me that there wasn't that Brissett, Winston, and now that we know Garoppolo weren't dealt to teams that could use them.
Agreed.
That sucks.
Agreed. I would have loved to have seen it. I'm sorry. If you Jacoby here, and hopefully the truth is he would never play.
Yeah,
But him being here would be just a warm blanket.
sure would.
Jameis to Minnesota.
Oh, I love that.
Have to.
Yep.
I mean, it's the fact
Bombs
that
over Baghdad.
The fact that he didn't and they went with Dobbs is wild to me.
Yeah.
And Dobbs, the last few weeks has not been great.
No.
5 interceptions in his last 4 games. He leads the NFL with 8 fumbles.
Yep. Yep.
I saw something today saying that get Dobbs, at least he doesn't throw interceptions. That's 5 in 4 games. I don't know.
It's a lot, Coach.
8 fumbles
Yeah.
leads the NFL. Are we not paying attention to that? I don't know.
No, we're not.
I don't know.
All right.
By the way, the NFL only flexed that Detroit Tampa from 1 o'clock to 4:25.
Yeah, there was never a
In
prime
the big
flex.
window, so no prime flex.
NBC
so they could
didn't
have done
use
it.
any of their flexes.
I'd have to see what the rest of that weekend looked like to
Well,
understand why
there
they
were
would do it.
options. I mean, we've seen a few that were
Yeah.
rough.
It's
All
pretty
right.
wild.
Coach Stefanski up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
for them. Buda Baker's playing at a high level. He's a ball hawk, so have to know where he is at all times. Offensively, I think Drew's doing a really nice job with that offense. It's a version of what we've run, but they put their own spin on it. I think it's a very, very, very physical offensive line. Yelda, at the heart of that thing as well. So really, really physical group. And they have skill players. I mean, they have speed, they have quickness.
Gibbs, let me know if you want to do a reset at all here, just because I jumped right into it.
Special teams, I think he does an outstanding job. They've always had good teams out there, and they continue to do so. So looking forward to that challenge. With today, we have a bunch of guys that we're resting and or are working through injuries. So we adjusted practice a little bit. So we'll be out there for a good individual, a good 7-on-7 full speed, and then we'll slow it down to a jog through in our team periods just to take a little bit off some of their legs. Deshaun will practice on a limited basis, and then we'll update you guys throughout the week. But with that, I'll take any questions.
Deshaun will be in the 7-on-7?
He'll be limited, so we'll see.
Are you hoping that he plays Sunday?
Yeah, as you can imagine, I always just kind of keep it day to day, and we'll focus on today. He'll be out there, and we'll see how he does.
You're not making a quarterback decision today like you did last week.
Correct. I'm not making any game day decisions today.
This is number one full-time practice at quarterback.
PJ remains a backup, yes.
When you have a young quarterback like PJ, Amari Cooper, does he have sort of like an influence over him? And I'm asking you because there was a play near the goal line. You were breaking the huddle, and Amari said something to PJ. And then PJ throws the ball to him, and he had Elijah open. So does he have kind of like that influence over a young guy?
Well, I would tell you, Amari has seen a lot of football in his career, and he's got a great insight with the quarterbacks. Those conversations happen in every game on the sideline. Those conversations happen with me. Amari comes up to me every.
How challenging is it? I imagine you're prepared for both.
Yeah, we don't expect to know until 90 minutes before, or if they decide to name somebody. So you prepare for everybody. You prepare for Jeff Driscoll, who's on their roster now as a practice squad player. So we go do our homework on all of them. There's tape on all of them. Obviously understand Kyler Murray is a great football player. I've seen him firsthand. He's great. Toon is a kid that we did a lot of work on coming out. Can make every throw, athletic, good decision maker. So we have to be prepared for all of them. Haven't checked my phone, not yet.
If Deshaun Watson can't go, so are you saying that PJ will be the starter this week if Deshaun can't play?
Correct.
The fact is, though, none of those three quarterbacks has played it down this year.
Correct.
So, what about that challenge?
Well, I think, there's tape on all of them through into the preseason, Tony, and I think every week, every team in some form or fashion is dealing with injuries. We're no different than that. So the other team does their homework. They pull up tape from previous games, if you will, and try to understand what their strengths are. So that's what we're doing.
Darius's injury and what's his status as of right now?
Yeah, he's working through a neck injury, but I'd say he's we'll just rest him. But I feel good about Za'Darius.
What do you feel about not ending up with a veteran quarterback? And I don't even know if you guys really tried to get one, but do you feel comfortable for the rest of the season with what you have?
Yeah, I think, like I mentioned to you, Mary Kay, I like our roster. I like the guys we have.
Does Cedric Tillman have an opportunity to do more than what we've seen?
He does, yeah. And, obviously you guys saw the trade with Donovan, a guy that we all love, having seen him grow up in this building, had some really, really great moments for us. So wishing him the best. But it does open up, an avenue towards playing time for Ced and for some other guys as well.
Why did he fit, so to speak, as far as this year? He just didn't seem to get the targets and the opportunities.
I wouldn't read much into that. Small sample size, obviously had a couple things going on throughout those games, but I wouldn't read much into it.
Is there any need to get Austin Watkins off the practice squad, or you're all right?
I think we'll see. Those are all conversations that you have each week. Austin does a nice job for us throughout the week.
You guys make that trade with
knowledge that you wanted to get Cedric more involved?
Well, I think yes, of course, if you do that, that does open a pathway to getting Ced more involved.
You know, we know what Kyler Murray has been in his career, but is he the same quarterback in Drew Petzing's offense that you project?
I don't know if anybody knows that yet until he takes a snap. I know he's supremely talented, can make every throw, great movement skills. I mean, he's a great football player.
To be under center more than
Don't know. Yeah, good question. Yeah, but that's football. I mean, you go into week one sometimes with a quarterback who's in a new system. You just, you do your homework based on what the system is, but you have to be prepared to defend it all.
That's kind of a week one field, doesn't it?
In some ways, yeah. I mean, they'll have a quarterback under center that hasn't been under center for them just yet.
You've seen that, Cedric, in practice.
We're in the shotgun.
In practice, and I guess it was limited time, that makes you think that he's ready for a bigger role.
Yeah, I've seen it in games. I've seen it in practice, preseason games. It is reason we like the kid when he's coming out. I mean, he's big, physical, ball skills. So he's been working very, very hard. Have not to date been able to get him going, and a lot of that becomes roster, based on who's available, and you can only bring so many to the game. But he's remained very diligent, works hard at it.
Kevin, what has been the reason for such success running the ball since the bye?
Always a combination of things, but I'd give credit to the players first of all. I think the schemes, the technique, those type of things, that they're executing the plan. I think the coaches put together a really good plan, and I really trust our guys. I trust the guys that are blocking, be it the offensive line, tight ends, wide receivers, you name it. I think we have some diversity of skill sets with our runners.
You said you two talked. How did that conversation go from your vantage point?
Yeah, I'm not going to add much to my conversations with our guys. Kareem's a pro. He's doing a good job for us.
In the past, when Chubb was active, it seems like he could always settle the offense down during a game, like go in a series, which is him, especially after turnovers. Can you still, you have the confidence to do that with this committee now?
Yeah, I mean, I just saw Nick. Obviously, Nick's a special player, and when we talked about it way back when, you don't replace him, but I have a ton of confidence with our guys, and I mean all three of them, with Jerome and with Kareem and with Pierre. I have a lot of confidence in them.
When you say we got to eliminate those turnovers, I mean, wouldn't that be a way of doing it?
Yeah, I mean, eliminating interceptions, potentially, yes. But, we talk a lot about with those giveaways just ball security technique. We just have to be better in our technique.
On Monday when we talked to you, you were not ready to, commit to PJ still as the backup. Did you go back and study more film and realize that, or why did you?
No, I wouldn't read much into that. Just every week gonna make decisions, when I have to, and each day.
Kevin, guys were saying after the game that you guys just work your screen game all the time in practice. But what goes into making it as effective as it was on Sunday?
It's always a matchup-based thing for us. You're trying to different defenses allow for different screens, if you will. But then, I beat the players and the coaches up we beat the players up on the details and the nuance of that game. And I say it all the time, it takes all 11 to get any part of your offense going. Certainly the screen game, you have to have all 11 guys, and sometimes it's the receivers running their routes at full speed. Little things like that, I think, landmarks and timing, it's got to be so precise. But it's really a game-to-game proposition.
In trying to avoid a repetition of the Indianapolis experience with Watson, have you changed the process at all as you evaluate the quarterback this week?
Yeah, I think every week's different. When you're working through an injury, every week is different, and how you feel day to day. So this week's just completely different in my perspective.
Greg and DeWine, is there any concern that those are long-term? Either could be a long-term?
We'll see. I think this week we'll see over the next couple of days how they respond.
Last week you said, you really like this group. We asked you about the trade deadline coming up and potentially adding to the roster. There are fans out there, wondering why the roster was not added to. I know you're not Andrew, but I know you have those conversations with him. Just what makes you feel so good about this group going forward that you've got enough to achieve your goals?
Yeah, I would tell you, like I mentioned earlier, I like our team. I like our guys. I like our locker room. There's things that I know we all can do better, and we will. Andrew and the personnel department, they work on those things. It's a 365-day thing that they're working on, so that doesn't change. But I would tell you I do like our roster.
I know you talk about set, obviously, but David Bell seems like another young guy who would be in line to get more touches. Just what have you seen from him so far this year?
Yeah, it's a good point, Ashley. He's been very dependable, like he is. Does the right thing, catches the ball when it comes his way. So has proven to be a dependable player for us.
So you lost the one offensive tackle on the practice squad and added another veteran guy. He's got to get up to speed for this week, right? The package, at least.
Yeah, we have other options there as well, with our roster. We'll talk after.
Make sure they're physically ready to go in practice, but how do you keep guys like that mentally ready when they're not getting a lot of in-game activity to be ready for their moment like this?
Yeah, that's something we talk about a lot, Cam, just staying ready, and it happens, every position. You don't expect maybe a guy to have to play in week 1 or week 10, whatever it may be, and I think you see guys that stay ready, and it may be as simple as when you're not in on a particular play in practice, you're paying attention and you're standing next to your coach and you're putting yourself in the game, as we call it, and getting those mental reps and watching the plays unfold, and sometimes you'll see some of our players stand behind the group and literally go through the play while it's taking place, even though they're not in. So it's part of being a pro is getting yourself ready, because you just don't know when that number is going to get called.
Drake is an experienced running back. Your runners seem to be in good health at this point. Why would you bring him in?
Yeah, I think, as you know, with the practice squad roster at the size that it is, I think you're always trying to bring in good football players, guys that may help you down the line, guys that will help you in practice. He's somebody that has played well in his given moments and opportunities, so just trying to make sure that we're always looking for ways to add to the roster.
Indication from Deshaun that the week off last week, focus on the rehab really helped that shoulder?
Yeah, I think it all helps. I think, like we mentioned, he's making progress. He's working through it, working very hard, both in this building, out of this building, really around the clock. So I think all of the time, all of the rehab continues to make, a difference. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Well, there you have it, Coach Stefanski, and get a bit of a look of Deshaun Watson today at practice, and then not a designation on the injury report, so big news there, and we'll see how the week goes.
Yeah, he said he would be limited today, and he was asked if he would participate in the 7-on-7s. He said, we'll see. My guess is if that's all they're doing today, that
that would be part of it.
It will be. Yeah. Well, I hope so, because if he does participate in that 7-on-7s and takes the ball and throws it and looks like himself, that will bode well for the rest of the week. I've said all along. And I feel like we're close now. And so it feels like positive ambiguity right now, more so than perhaps in the past. And we'll see. But this is kind of, where my head's been at, and you guys have kind of told that, not scores obviously, but just from my head has been that it felt like it was possible for this week, and it still feels that way. And if it is, I think that will be so beneficial to him and to this team to get him out there against the Cardinals, against a team that really has struggled mightily. I mean,
this week is critical for next week.
Yes, I think this week is more important for next week than it is necessarily for this week.
Yeah.
You're going to get the Cardinals right now are giving up 71% completions, 247 yards a game, 1.5 touchdowns a game, 101.6 rating, which is the third best in the NFL. They've given up one passing touchdown every single game. They've given up 100-plus rating in 4 of the last 5, and the one that they didn't was 94.2. Like, this is a team that you get well against as a quarterback, and I think being back and playing well allows you to go into Baltimore free, which I think you need to be to go in there and try to beat this Ravens team.
Well, you're not beating them any other way.
That's right.
So, yeah, I mean, this will be a critical day today, how this goes. Yeah, I'm going buttoned up.
I'm going to go with 1.
For right now.
Is it 1? How many do you have?
I went 2.
2. Okay.
2, because 1 I found wouldn't hold it. But coming out of that presser, I kind of wanted a little bit of a buttoned up. You know what I mean?
3, I think, because I have a little bit of a longer torso.
I don't have a problem with that.
There it is.
Yeah. I like it.
Buttoned
Sets
up.
a tone.
It does set a tone.
It's a button.
Business.
It's business, baby.
We're not. We're limited.
Come on, Ford. Let's go.
Let's
get
baby.
A practice in.
Now.
Let's get us a little bit of a week here and handle your business and build. We're going to meet the Cardinals coming up next. Quite frankly, you need to meet them. Well, you don't need to, but in order to know who you're going to watch in the game on Sunday.
Unbelievable amount of rookies. I think they have 12 of them, and an unbelievable amount of undrafted free agents just across their roster, period. Period.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones where the business ought to be taken care of. We will do that coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Bally Bet, sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns, now live in Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Over the last 90 years, family-owned and operated Rumpke Waste Recycle has grown to become one of the largest waste and recycling companies in the United States. They are proud to be the recycler of choice for the city of Cleveland. Visit rumpke.com to learn more. The Arizona Cardinals are on deck. Can I just tell you, their new unis are great. The white ones are really clean. And I like all of them. I think they did a decent job with those. If save for a rebrand, I think that's about as good as you can do. What the Cardinals have done.
I enjoy them. I like the
nice job.
all whites.
The all whites.
Yeah, they're very nice.
Jonathan Gannon is your head coach. First season, 1-7 so far. NFC champion as a defensive coordinator of the Eagles. He is an 0-1 graduate of St. Ignatius. How about that? Series record overall. The Browns. How about it? Browns are 33-16-3. However, the Cardinals have won 5. The last 5, and the last 2 played in Cleveland. That would be the Cardinals winning 37-14 in 2021. I remember that one well. And the last time out,
DPJ, I think, caught a Hail Mary in that one at the end of the first half.
Did he really?
If I'm not mistaken.
Jeez.
Is that right, Gibbe?
Is that how that one went? Yeah, Gibbe confirms
says
that
yes.
one. That's how that one went. All right, so there you
Gibbe's
go.
memory for specific awesome plays only goes back to 2021.
And then it shuts down.
Then it shuts down.
I don't mind that. You have to call your memory. You don't need it all.
I was calling every game from a national TV booth in 2020.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think we only used 10% of our brains. I only think we used 10% of our hearts. They say.
All right, let's meet the Cardinals, and for that we go to Dr. Z.
Would you like to start on offense, or would you like to start on defense?
Offense.
All right. They will have a new quarterback.
Yes, they will.
Because Clayton Tune's played 1 snap. He has 1 pass for 4 yards, an 83.3 rating on the season.
All right.
1 pass for what? 1 for 1, 4 yards.
He hit it.
He hit it. Dobbs had started the whole year for him. He was 1-7 as a starter. Now it will be Clayton Tune. They signed Jeff Driscoll, I believe, as well to the practice squad, and they've got Kyler Murray. But it sounds like, from all accounts, it's going to be Clayton Tune. In the preseason this year, 57.6% completions, 353 yards, a touchdown, a pick, and a rating of 73. That's in the preseason. He was pick number 139 in this draft. DTR was pick number 140, both in the 5th round. At Houston, he is second all-time in passing touchdowns and total touchdowns. Last year, he was first-team All-AAC, 67% completions, 4,074 yards, and 40 touchdowns. Ran for another 544 and 5. Good luck to him. They can run the football. They are without their 2-time Pro Bowl running back, James Conner, who's been on IR since Week 5 with a knee injury. So they have turned to undrafted free agent this year, Amari DiMercato, coming off of a career-high 20 carries for 78 yards last week. He's got 49 carries, 195 yards, and a touchdown on the season. Ohio State fans may remember him. DiMercato ran for 150 yards and a touchdown against Michigan in the semifinal last year as a member of TCU.
There you go. Yeah. No game tape for the Wolverines for that one. Shame.
Feels like it didn't go as well.
Looking at the wrong signs.
I don't know.
What were those, dummy signs? Oh, no. Now we can't stop anybody.
Perhaps. They have a mauling offensive line in the run game. They're, in fact, when you look at what some of the things they've done in the run game, it's pretty impressive to me. They have 13 runs of more than 20 yards this year. That is tied with Miami for the most in the NFL.
Jeez.
They have 29 runs of 10 yards or more. That's 4th in the NFL. They are currently the number 4 rushing team in the league, 137.8 yards per game. They're averaging 5.1 yards per carry, second to only Miami. So a lot of that was Connor. Connor was 364 yards, 5.4 yards per carry. But now it's DiMercato. Bo, yes.
You're doing the offense?
Yeah.
You just did this? Gannon saying, did you see this? Gannon saying 15 minutes ago that Kyler Murray's fired up to possibly play this week.
I didn't see it.
This is from Taylor Bisciotti, who covers that. She's with NFL Network, right? Isn't that?
Yeah.
This is from Gannon. From her, it's all verified. Jonathan Gannon says Kyler Murray is fired up to potentially play this week.
What does that mean?
No idea. I know. I thought that was germane to the offensive conversation around the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
Does change things a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
It does, and it is quite relevant. If it is Kyler Murray, he is a 2-time Pro Bowler. Last we saw him.
Hold on.
What? What?
I mean,
I have every scenario accounted
this
for.
is unbelievable. You get an interruption from me for a germane point. And without skipping a beat, if it is Kyler Murray, boom, huge penis.
Thank you very much. Kyler Murray, two-time Pro Bowler. Last we saw him in 2022, 3-8 as a starter, 66% completions, 2,368 yards, 14 touchdowns, 7 picks, a rating of 87.2. Also ran for 418 and 3 scores. For his career, 25-31 as a starter, 67% completions, 84 touchdowns, 41 picks, 92.5 rating. My guess is this is gamesmanship from them, forcing us to prepare for Kyler Murray as well. Now, they may do it. It feels more likely that you would hold him out till week 10. You're home against Atlanta.
And put him in a position to succeed, brother.
This would be
this is a tough
This would be a tough one.
Inclement weather, defense, why do that?
Right. So we talked about their ability to run the ball. They have not been a great passing offense, 28th in the NFL so far this year under Dobbs, 5.4 an attempt. Their tight end, Zach Ertz, is on IR, so it's Trey McBride, last year's second-round pick, who won the Mackey Award in 2021, coming off of a career-high 10 catches for 95 yards and a touchdown, his first of the season. In fact, that was, they set a franchise record, 10 catches, most by a Cardinals tight end in their franchise's history. And then in receivers, they got Hollywood Brown, the former first-rounder of the Ravens, who has a 1,000-yard season under his belt. He leads the team with 38 catches, 416 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Rondale Moore, 19 catches, 123 yards, 17 rushes, 147 yards, 8.6 a pop. And by the way, that is a Cardinals franchise record for most rushing yards by a wide receiver in a single season. He also leads all NFL wide receivers in that category. Deebo Samuel's second. He's in the 90s. By the way, McBride, I mentioned the 95 last week. He's got 186 the last 3. That's fourth among all tight ends in the NFL. They got a third-round pick out of Stanford named Michael Wilson, who has 25 catches for 401 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's averaging 16 yards per catch. This guy was often injured in college, but playing well. 16 yards per catch, that's 6th in the NFL among qualifying receivers. His 401 yards are 5th amongst rookies so far this season. One note on Hollywood Brown, who leads the team with 4 touchdowns. He scored 7 times with Arizona, 6 of them at home, only 1 on the road. So that's their team. You can get some pressure on them. Paris Johnson, the 6th overall pick, he's given up 2 sacks early here in his rookie season. That'll be a nice reunion, him and Big Thanos.
Yeah.
The bookends of the Buckeyes.
Well, Whippler was the center.
Whippler was the center
So
as
they're
well.
all there,
They're
yeah.
all there.
Also, the Cardinals picking up in the last hour, adding Hassan Hall to their practice squad.
Yes.
Former Browns running back.
There you go.
There you go. Out of Georgia Tech. Their guards, Will Hernandez, who was the pick right before Nick Chubb in the 2018 draft. Dennis Daly had to come in for Tristan Colon, who went out with an injury. DJ Humphries is their left tackle. He was a first-round pick in 2015. Their center is Yelda Froholt.
I heard Coach mention that in the presser.
Yeah, the former
Love
Brown
Yelda
started
Froholt.
6 games for the Browns last year. He started every game so far. This season has not allowed a single sack. So that's who they are on offense. On defense, who are these Arizona Cardinals? Well, their lone Pro Bowler on their roster is on the defensive side. That's Budda Baker. Up front, they have nobody you've heard of, literally. Jonathan Ledbetter, Lecky Fotu, Kevin Strong. Rookie out of 6th-rounder Dante Stills has 2.5 sacks, actually. He's done well. Linebackers, Kaiser White followed Gannon over from Philadelphia. He leads the team with 69 tackles. Zaven Collins, their first-rounder in 2021, has a career-high 3.5 sacks. Dennis Gardeck, who was a special teams player, is now playing for them. He's got 4 sacks to tie for the team lead. He's played well. This is a team that has done a good job getting after the quarterback, quite frankly, which is it feels surprising when you kind of go through who is on this squad, but they've been able to get after the quarterback a little bit. You've got Gardeck with 4. You've got a guy named, oh, baby. That's right. He
Look
likes
at that
these.
jacket.
Yeah.
That jacket is gorgeous he's wearing.
They have that is beautiful. He's a well-dressed man. Sartorial splendor.
Always.
Senior swag.
Swag.
Victor Dimukeji, a 6th-round pick out of Duke in 21, has 4 sacks to tie with Gardeck. He never had a sack before this season. So their corners are dreadful. Marco Wilson, their 4th-round pick, giving up 80% and 132 rating, 3 touchdowns this year. Starling Thomas has played a lot for them as well, an undrafted free agent. He's 80%, 129. Budda Baker's only played 3 games. He has not done well so far. No picks, no passes, defense, 125 rating in coverage, but he's a 5-time Pro Bowler, so he is good. Jalen Thompson, their other safety, is actually playing pretty well. He's a 5th-rounder in 19. In fact, only supplemental draft player still in the NFL. He's picked in the 5th round of the supplemental draft in 2019.
Wild.
They've got Antonio Hamilton Sr. as their other starting quarterback. He was an undrafted free agent with the Raiders in 2016 who has 2 career picks, and he can get torched. They do have a nice rookie, Garrett Williams, third rounder out of Syracuse. He's played well this year. He's got an interception, only giving up 50% completions. But this is not a good football team. However, they are 24th in the NFL with 8 sacks. They have 11 players who have at least 1 sack, which is second in the NFL behind Baltimore, who has 13. They have 6 players with 2 or more sacks. They have 5 players who already have set new career highs in sacks this season. Dimukeji with 4. He had 0. Zaven Collins has 3.5. He had 2 sacks in his first 2 seasons combined. Kevin Strong has 2.5 sacks this year. He has 3.5 for his career. He's been in the league since 19. Kaiser White, 2 sacks. That's a career high for him. He came into this one. He had 3 sacks in his whole career. This is his 6th season. And then Jonathan Ledbetter, 1.5 sacks. He has 3 for his career, and he's been in the league since 19 as well. So, wild. They make plays behind the line of scrimmage. 43 tackles for loss this year, 4th most. But you can get them. Quarterbacks, as I said earlier, 71% completions against them. Quarterback rating of 101.6. That's the 3rd highest. They've allowed 2 300-plus yard games. They've allowed 1 passing touchdown in every game. 5 of the 8 quarterbacks they played have finished with 2 or more total touchdowns. Running backs, 110 yards, 4.43 yards per carry. They're giving up 140 total yards and 1.5 touchdowns a game. They're running backs. They've given up at least 1 running back touchdown in 6 of 8 games and 4 100-yard rushers so far this season. They've allowed 3 100-yard receivers this year as well, and they've given up 6 touchdowns to wide receivers in the last 4 games. Their corners, which is interesting because we have, can you guess how many wide receiver touchdowns we have this year?
How many guys have caught them or how many we have, period? Either way, the number's low. I'm going to go 4.
1.
Fantastic.
Amari Cooper.
We have 1 receiver touchdown?
That's right. Well, Bo, we've only thrown.
You're right. There's not even that many.
We've thrown. Deshaun's thrown 4. P.J. Walker's thrown 1. We've thrown 5 touchdowns.
5 touchdowns
in the season. 2 to Jerome Ford, 1 to David Njoku, 1 to Harrison Bryant, 1 to Amari Cooper. Jerome Ford still leads his team in receiving touchdowns this year. Like I said,
Russell Wilson's thrown 16.
16. That's right. Tight ends, they've been tough so far. Cards have only allowed 1 touchdown. That was Mark Andrews last week, only 1 over 50 yards. That was Darren Waller back in week 2. But they're not a good. This is not a good football team. They've lost, 5 straight games. They've beaten. You mentioned this earlier. I think the Browns in 5 straight, which is their longest streak against any team in the league. That's we want to get off that list.
Yeah, let's get off the list.
Let's get off that list. So there it is. That's who they are. Not great. Interesting factoids for you about this game, though. I think it's very interesting. When Kevin Stefanski, during his time in Minnesota from 2006 to 2019, Jonathan Gannon, the head coach, was the assistant DB and quality control coach from 2014 to 2017. Mm-hmm. Drew Petzing worked with him directly, was the assistant wide receiver, assistant quarterbacks, and wide receiver coach, then was on our staff as a quarterback coach. Nick Rallis, the defensive coordinator, was there as defensive quality control and assistant linebacker coach, 18 and 19. And their outside linebacker coach, Rob Rodriguez, was there as the assistant defensive line coach, 2015 to 2019. Petzing and Stefanski coached together for 9 consecutive seasons from 2014 to 22. So a lot of feel there, a lot of familiarity. They even have as one of their titles, importing offensive minds from Cleveland. Talking about Drew Petzing and Israel Wolfork. So that's who they are. We are better than them. We should beat them.
Do you think so right now they would have the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, and Caleb Williams is there, Drake May is there overall. Do you think that they clearly would take a quarterback? If for no other reason to reset your situation, do you think they are playing – I guess maybe I'll put it this way. Don't you think they are playing Murray to showcase him for an offseason trade?
That I don't know about. I don't know. I mean, if you still think that he is your guy, and maybe they're playing him to find out, like, do we think he's a guy? Because otherwise you could just throw Marvin Harrison in there, give him the ultimate weapon.
Well, or you trade out of one where the bounty would be
enormous.
Well,
you would trade out of one. I would only want to trade out of one where I'm still getting Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, because the Bears right now are picking 2 and 3.
Right.
So it'll go Arizona, then Bears. So you're not going to get Harrison if you trade
You could
out of
convince
one.
the Bears to come up.
Maybe.
For something.
They'll be
still get
convinced of
Harrison.
anything, it seems.
Well, they wouldn't want somebody to jump them.
That's provided they like Williams more than May.
I think you always like one.
In the mock,
go back to,
there's a Yahoo mock just had May going ahead of Williams.
But whoever it is,
there's
going to be one person that they
you
want.
Like, yeah. That'd be a heavy bounty to move up.
We've done this before. The quarterback's not the position where you're like, well, I like all these. We'll take whatever's there. It's no, this is who I believe in the most. And my job is tied to that. My livelihood is tied to that. My family's well-being is tied to that.
It's going to be a very interesting next month and a half for them with him.
Well, it's going to be an interesting week all of a sudden. By the way, who says he's fired up to potentially play? Who says that?
Johnny Gannon did. Ignatius Pride,
what does
2001. Maybe they put in a package. Little Kyler package.
Our good friend Howard Balzer, who will join us later this week.
H. Balzer.
I mean, he has to be.
Kyler Murray fired up, ready to go, and was, quote, really good in the team meeting today. I put him in the spot. He was excellent.
I mean, that changes everything, obviously.
Yeah.
If he plays?
Yeah.
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 We remember well. Yeah. He hasn't played in a while, been a year, but.
Listen, I like our defense. This is a tough place to play. Your first game back. We've been.
I agree on all of it, but it's dramatically different
than Clayton Tune. Well, for sure.
Yeah, that would be a very different thing. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as the week goes along.
I do think it could still be like the way that it's being phrased and the way it's being. It feels a little bit like posturing to me.
Yeah, we'll know. Yeah, I mean, you'll know as the week goes along what. But now something to pay attention to because I thought there was no chance, and now maybe it is just posturing. We'll see.
Oh, I mean, I feel like, and who knows? I feel like the Browns, this feels to me like the Browns will have a pretty good idea of what's actually going to happen. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some gamesmanship from our boy, but like we traded them Dobbs. There's clearly a good relationship and pipeline there. I think we'll have an idea.
All right. We will attempt, I should say, Dr. Z will attempt to guess the spread coming
off
up
of
next.
a losing week,
first
right?
losing week, yeah.
Or did I tie? No, I didn't tie.
I think he lost, yeah.
Second losing week.
Second, that's right. That's
6-2.
Honesty's the best policy. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. For a team of injury lawyers dedicated to every client every day, call 1-800-ELK Ohio. Elk and Elk's proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Time for a little game we like to call Guess the Spread for Week 9. So we're 8 weeks in, you're 6-2.
6-2.
6-2.
I think it's going to get tougher as the season goes on. I think at the beginning, you got to capitalize at the beginning.
I don't know. I think you're going to be fine. All right. We start on Thursday.
And we have bye weeks this week?
I believe we do. I believe we do have some bye weeks. Let me check to make sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, we have 4 buys, in fact. Broncos, Leos, Niners, Jags.
Big fantasy bye week. Then.
Huge fantasy bye week. Implications.
Jags.
Amok.
Yep.
All right. Titans, this is Thursday night football. Will Levis, fresh off the 4 touchdown passes, and the Tennessee Titans.
Steelers -3.
At Pittsburgh. Correct. Steelers -2.5. Let's go to Sunday, and we are going to start in Frankfurt in Germany. Dolphins, Chiefs, Frankfurt.
Neutral field, basically.
Yeah, I don't imagine there's a big rooting interest with the Germans.
Chiefs -3.
Incorrect. Chiefs -1.5.
Oh, man. I would not have had that.
That would be one I would like to do. The Germans.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Send me to Germany.
I'd like to see. I'd like to see what that's all about. That would be fun.
I don't need to go back to London. I'd like to go to Germany.
Yeah. 1 o'clock window opens with Vikings at Falcons. Good luck. This is Heineke against what's the kid's name? Hall. Jaron Hall.
Can I ask a question? Does
Yes.
it feel like Jaron Hall's starting based on the line?
Well, they've said he's starting, and I think the line reflects that.
Falcons -6.5.
Falcons -5.
They're in all these.
No one knows
numbers.
what to make of this.
1-5.
Now you're starting to get my point about some of the bad stuff that's out there.
7 rookie quarterbacks, I think.
Could be 7
starting
of them
in
this
week 9.
weekend. Yep. Cardinals at Browns. Cardinals at Browns. Now this one's completely in a state of flux because we don't know if it's 4. We don't know if it's Kyler.
As of right now.
Browns -7.5.
Browns -8. Got it. To
That's
Lambeau.
gone up. It was -7.
That's why I did 7.5.
Well, when Kyler plays, what does that go to? 5.5? 6.5?
You think he's playing now?
Bo's talking himself into it.
No, I mean, I just am curious. Like, I was curious what the weather was Sunday. Like, what are we in for?
Some showers in the morning, but temps around 60.
He has to be activated this week. He has to be active this week because that's his window closes this week to be put on the roster. He's going to be active regardless of if he plays or not. He'll be promoted to the 53-man roster this week. By November.
He'll be eligible.
He needs to by November 8th. When is that? Is that actually after the game? Oh, yeah, no, he doesn't have to. He's got till November 8th. So he doesn't have to be active.
So we're looking at
fake news.
59.
Yeah.
It's not a bad first weekend in November.
Yeah.
You take that.
The bad part is Myles Garrison, Zarius Smith, and Obo, and Dalvin.
Yeah.
That's the bad part.
That's where it starts to get a little dicey for your boy.
Yeah.
All right. Where are we at? All right. Lambeau, just ram it at Green Bay. Just ram it at Green Bay.
These games are impossible to predict. Just ram it at Green Bay.
That's right.
Rams -1.5.
Incorrect. Green Bay -3.
Excuse me?
Yeah, that has to be Stafford.
No,
Not
Stafford's
sure.
playing. He's fine. He's got a thumb contusion, but it's, as we know by now, that's just a bruise. So, yeah, he's going to play. Commies.
Is that what it is?
Commies at Patriots. Commies at Patriots.
These are awful.
I told you it was gross.
Patriots -1.5.
Patriots -3.
3.5.
I have no idea how.
What?
That's a bad operation. Bears in the Ditka Bowl. Big Easy versus New Orleans.
Ugh.
Bears at New Orleans.
Saints minus.
So I'm telling you, like 1 o'clock, watch our
bad.
game, and that you don't. Then the rest you're not missing anything.
Saints minus 6.5.
Incorrect.
Oh God.
Saints minus 7.5. I'm sorry.
7.5?
7.5.
7.5.
Two
All
and
right,
five.
we're
Don't
still.
call it a losing streak.
I am, dude. Good thing I have a cushion.
We're still in the 1 o'clock window. Seattle at Baltimore, gentlemen.
Baltimore minus 3.5.
It's Baltimore minus 5.5, gentlemen.
What?
Baltimore.
These
gentlemen.
lines are odd.
Buccaneers at Texans.
Ugh.
Buccaneers. I mean, these 1 o'clocks are death.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Buccaneers minus 1.5.
Houston minus 2.5.
Well, this is my worst week ever. I mean, I've been on the wrong team multiple times.
Yeah.
Houston's favored?
Houston's favored by 2.5.
Okay.
4 o'clock window. Colts at Panthers. Colts at the stingy at home Panthers.
Colts minus 2.5.
Got it. Exactly. Good job. 2.5. 425 now.
I think I can get back to 50. I got to win.
You got to win out.
Win out.
G-Men at Vegas.
Ugh.
This could be Tommy DeVito against Aiden O'Connell.
I don't even know who's playing quarterback.
It could be Tommy DeVito against Aiden O'Connell.
Pick 'em.
Vegas minus 1.5. Incorrect.
I should have done. God dang it.
Here's a good quarterback matchup. This is a good one. This is so you get the good thing is you watch our game. Here's what you do: you watch our game, you watch the morning game,
Yeah.
you watch our game. Then you have Ravens Seahawks opposite, and then you go 425. You go this one: Cowboys Eagles, and then Bills Bengals late.
Oh,
so
so
there's-
you have one
good,
option.
yeah.
you have
in
one
every
in
window.
every window. There's an
What's
option.
Monday night?
Chargers Jets.
Ugh.
Cowboys Eagles. Cowboys.
You know, because
at
why
Eagles.
would you put the Chargers
Eagles
Sunday night last
minus-
week, Monday this
That's right.
week?
Eagles minus 3.5.
Just got it. Minus 3. Just barely.
I've decided I should never say minus 3 anymore because then I have to be right on it. So if I go 2.5, I get 2 and 3. If I go 3.5, I get 3 and 4. So
But there are a lot of 2.5 numbers in these.
There are.
We've seen some of those.
Right.
So, yeah. Bills, Sunday Night Football. Bills at Bengals. Bills at Bengals. Sunday Night Football. Sunday
Bengals
Night
minus
Football.
2.5.
Bengals minus 2.
Okay.
Nice little rally.
Comeback.
Respectability.
Good, yeah. Thank you.
Monday night, Chargers at Jets. Chargers at Jets.
Chargers minus 4.5.
Chargers minus 3.
Oh, man, that was too easy. All right.
So there you go.
All right, 6-3.
I had you.
Gibby.
I had you
the
5
final
and
record
I had you
there.
5 and 9.
5 and
6
9.
and 3 overall.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Gibby, how did you? I feel like there should be more glee for you in my.
I think even Gibby is. I think Gibby is so dazed by the quarterback matchups in the 1 o'clock window
Yeah.
that you can't even process that this is the
it's
national.
hard not
football
to
league.
be.
So someone tell me what the NFL schedule makers were thinking when they put this week together.
I don't know.
Because even looking at it, you would know, this has potential to just be a garbage week.
Well, they banked on Aaron Rodgers playing quarterback for the New York Jets.
Yes.
That's
That
what
would have
they
been
banked on.
Herbert,
That would have
Rodgers.
solved.
That would have been a great game. And you would
That
have had a
would've
great
solved
game every window.
every
okay,
window.
but like,
on every window.
On every window.
but like, Bear Saints.
Where are all these people coming from?
Look at this meeting. This meeting.
Meeting swapping.
I don't know what's
It
going
is.
on.
There's a meeting swap.
It is.
Yeah, it was really
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
unbelievable. Yeah, it's bad ball, man, is what it is in a lot of the 1 o'clock window. It's a lot of bad ball. A lot of
And yet
people
everybody
have
will be
noticed.
like, well, all these teams are like 500. They're all within like 2 games of first place. Are you really good?
No, there's a lot that
is
aren't.
the answer.
No, there's a lot of bad ball that's being played. But to our point, though, because even Thursday, I'm intrigued now with Levis on Thursday against the Steelers. That's
Cam
an
Hayward
intriguing
practicing
game
full go yesterday.
now. Yeah,
I
it's
don't like
intriguing.
that.
Pittsburgh's going to win that game because that's what they
It's
do.
at home.
Yeah.
It's Renegade in the
gonna-
fourth
they're gonna
quarter.
do that. Yeah, Levis is going to throw it into the bleachers.
So you're saying tomorrow you're going to be Titans?
Huge.
Oh baby, come on!
Huge.
We got to root with our hearts a little bit.
Nah.
Not on Thursday. On Monday we can.
All right, fine.
If your game plan for the season includes buying or selling a home, Howard Hanna has the answer, delivering a winning strategy for breaking down the game of real estate. As the market leaders in Northeast Ohio, more buyers and sellers trust Howard Hanna to be their home winning team. Visit howardhanna.com/GoBrowns today. Z with MJ Emerson coming up next. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.
By Ballybet, sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns, sitting down with a great friend of the show and the interception leader for your Cleveland Browns with 2 of them this year, Browns cornerback MJ Emerson. And MJ, let's start in the big picture, right? Go to Seattle. You guys put forth a good effort, didn't get the win. Kind of how's the team feeling coming off of that game?
I would probably say disappointed, but also motivated, at the same time. We want to win whenever we touch the green, but, we watch the film, we put that game past us, and now we're on to our next opponent, and the most important game is our next game, and that's Arizona Cardinals back at home.
That is back at home, where you guys have been excellent number 1 D in the NFL in the home games. But I want to talk about your interception last week and kind of that battle you had with a guy who's been to the Pro Bowl, a guy who's had 1,000-yard seasons, been a first-team All-Pro, DK Metcalf. How did you feel coming into that game, looking forward to that matchup, and then how did you feel when you went back and watched yourself?
I'm coming into the game, a big physical receiver, number 1 receiver, the favorite target, all those things. And I was just excited, for the moment, obviously. Just me being a hungry young player and just ready to get after anybody, they line up against me. And it was 14, DK Metcalf, that Sunday, and I was excited for that matchup.
And you got the best of it. 14 targets for him, only 5 catches. You got an interception. I want to talk about that interception because 3 plays before, they basically ran the exact same play. They ran that speed out. He was underthrown. They went right back to it. So did you recognize pre-snap? Were you like, oh, man, this might be coming? Walk me through kind of that sequence of them running that, getting some separation, and then them running it again, and you get an interception.
Yeah, okay. They tried to throw it, just to get in field goal range. The ball was the throw was actually short. They get on the ball fast, and I want to say it's 4th and 2. They run crossing routes, conversion. They hurry up, get back on the ball. 3-by-1, time is clicking. They probably on their 30, plus 30 or whatever, and obviously, just rookie kicker, we want to get him, the best kick possible. Obviously, that's what I'm thinking in my head. All this going on at the same time while they're hurrying up, and I get the same stem that I got on the Okie route. That's the out route that he ran before, and it was the exact same stem. This time I burnt my eyes like a little longer. I burnt my eyes a little longer in phase 2 just to confirm it, and came out the break just a little bit before he did, and the money was right there. The ball was right there.
Yeah, how's that feel? I mean, now you're all of a sudden, you go through your rookie year, you didn't get one, and then all of a sudden now you got 2 of them. Are you starting to feel more confident in your ability to kind of make those game-changing plays?
Yes, sir, I would say so. It was a big play. Keep points off the board going into the half, and I'm just excited, looking forward to make more plays like that to help the team win.
So did you ever get your merce from Greg?
No, actually, I didn't. But just walking off the field, after walking through, he said, "Yeah, man, I still owe you one from your first one." He was like, "I'm gonna get it to you, so you gotta ask him." Hopefully,
okay. All right, I'll follow up with him. Yeah. Absolutely.
Pressure on him.
Of course, you've won it, you've earned it now 2 times over. So I would say so. All right, you mentioned Arizona. On to the Arizona Cardinals. They've got a fast receiver, Hollywood Brown. They've got a big one, Michael Wilson, their rookie, who's averaging 16 yards a catch. And then they got a little Rondale Moore, very shifty as well. When you kind of see those receivers, what kind of challenges do they present?
Good receiver. Great receivers actually. Rookie quarterback. Not really sure how they're going to get everybody involved. Some deep passes kind of sell. Outside of numbers, the ball kind of sell on him. So I don't know. I probably think quick game, take a couple shots, and try to establish the run for the most part.
Is this a game where you guys feel as a defense you've gotten together and said, look, we need to go out there and we need to lock this team down. Let's put it on us to go out there and get this win.
Exactly. Exactly, man. It's just a game. Back at home, back in front of the crowd, in front of the dog pound, and this is a game, just coming off a tough L. We expect to dominate. Honestly, we expect to dominate from play 1. Start fast, finish strong. That's the motto all week. Start fast, finish strong.
I love it. Let's see it, MJ. Congrats on the second interception. Hopefully we'll get number 3, maybe even number 4 as well. Who knows, this weekend against the Cardinals.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, there you go. Z and MJ Emerson. He's been playing awesome all season. The whole defense has, but the secondary's been really lights out.
MJ in particular has been what I would call elite. What does that sound like? Could I interest you in this in terms of his coverage?
Let's go.
Where he lines up. He is allowing 39.4% completions this year and a 40.8 rating when targeted.
Yeah, you can interest me in that.
Are you curious as to where that rates? I am.
Nationally, in the National Football League.
I'm pulling it up right now. For minimum snaps, somebody's played, we'll call it starters, right? So 50% of the snaps this year. He rates in NFL rating. He is number 3 behind Deron Bland, who has 4 picks. That's driven his rating down, of Dallas, and Jalen Johnson of the Bears, who was
on the market yesterday, right?
On the market, yep. And then in terms of his percentage of targets allowed, he is number 1, 39.4%. Number 2, Jeff Okudah, 40%. Jeff Okudah's having a nice year.
Nice bounce back for him.
Yeah, in Atlanta. So he's number 1 in that regard.
We do have, I'm seeing ESPN Cleveland and many others with this. We do have Deshaun video back in the bubble.
I was trying to show you. You didn't want to see it.
I thought it was stuff that only you had access to.
No.
Yeah, okay, this is out there for the public. It looks good.
No, he is ripping it. He looks like he's throwing the ball like normal. That first, even a little short, like you can, it looks totally different than it looked last time we saw him.
Yeah.
Like even the camera has to move with some quickness. Mary Can, the camera's having to move it.
Yeah, I like it. But it's got to be Sunday. That's the whole thing. We got to be
we're a few days out still.
Got to be feeling good after this thing.
Yes.
And then you have to stack them.
Stack them. Yeah.
But this is a positive sign for sure.
I mean, everybody is saying the zip is back. That is the consensus that he's thrown it like.
Now, when was the last time that we saw him? It would have been Indy week. Did anybody see him even that week leading up to that, or because he was limited and then he practiced Thursday and then Friday he was
Friday. I thought.
Didn't he do something? He did limited Thursday though, right?
What, the week that he played?
Week of Indy.
It was nothing Wednesday, limited Thursday, full Friday.
But nobody saw that.
Right.
Right. So like this is the first time we've seen him throw in a long time, 3 weeks or so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, that's positive. This one's got the chance to be interesting now. You get him back, and from a big picture perspective, if Kyler plays for Arizona, then that adds to the intrigue of it as well. I preferred that he waits a week. It seems like a softer landing spot. I don't want to have to be chasing that little bugger around. No interest in that.
Agreed.
But that changed it a little bit there with that side of it. But this is a tremendous step in the right direction. But as when you were trying to show me when we were listening to your interview with MJ there, like, it's really Sunday. That's where we got to get. We got to get to a point. And I agree with you. You made this point earlier in the week about how important it is for him to play this Sunday. It's important for next Sunday because there's just it's so hard to be able to map out a scenario where you don't play football for 6 weeks of any consistency, and then you go into Baltimore and try to beat the Ravens. And if you lose to the Ravens, then the divisional it's pretty much out of the question because you're talking about a 2-game deficit to them. So that's as close to a must-win if you're trying to win the division as you're going to get 2 weeks from now in Baltimore.
Yeah, and this
one first.
This has a lot of pressure.
For sure, but this team is not good. They're not.
This team being Arizona?
Yes. If we went 1 through 32. No, not us. If we went 1 through 32, this is 32.
Yeah.
Right now, as currently constructed, if Kyler Murray doesn't play, this is the worst team in football.
Yes.
And then it's Chicago.
Yes.
Well, Chicago still has DJ Moore. Like, they have some things cooking. Sweat's going to play for Chicago this weekend, so Chicago's got a couple of things that are alarming.
No,
but, like,
there
is nothing here. Yeah. What do we got here now? What do we got there?
I don't know. It's like a basket full of goodies.
Not coming in here, I noticed. Yeah, Arizona's the worst.
Yeah, so let's beat them.
So let's handle the business and take care of it a
little
bit.
As I like to say, act accordingly.
That's right. You know what I had last night as we were doing the Halloween? I had
Tell me.
I had there's some warm cider on the stove.
Oh.
So I just took a little glug and then put the cider on top, because we'll do the apple pie bourbon later on.
But isn't that like is that a hot toddy?
I don't
Close
know.
to it.
Usually my hot toddies, I go like an orange spice tea.
Okay.
And then I go, I think a hot toddy is just lemon, hot water, lemon, and bourbon.
Okay.
I think that with honey.
What's with apple? I do that all the time, what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I had it last night. It was great.
Delightful.
It was
Put
very
a little
good.
fireball in.
Yeah, no.
Fireball, little cider.
Yeah.
Warm it up.
Yeah, that's it.
Get
But
your
it was
little
good.
cinnamon.
That was
way.
really nice for the
There you
walk
go.
around to get that done.
What did you
very
go
good.
with? What was your what's your casual glug?
It was Whiskey War. My good friends at High Bank. That's what it was last night. But like a Woodford would be nice in that scenario. Anything like that. I like a 90 proofer on the glug.
A 45%.
Get you every time.
I don't know why they wouldn't have just done it. It's a great point. I think I know why. because I think it's an easier. Well, nobody knows what proof is,
and it sounds cool.
And it sounds cool. Yeah.
Did you guys watch? I did not watch all of SNL this week, but did anybody watch the George Washington skit?
No, so it's funny you say that. I haven't thought about watching SNL in forever, but I do like that guy, the comedian who hosts.
He was very good.
He was awesome.
Okay, so I saw his stand-up, and then I watched the second skit, which was like the chef one, and then I stopped. So there's other skits that come that are great.
The George Washington skit is must-watch.
Okay.
I won't even...
And is he good in it?
He's great in it.
Okay.
It is along the lines of the absurdity of, like, proof and...
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the Foo Fighters were fantastic.
Well, and didn't Walken introduce him because he blew it the last time he introduced him? He called him something else, and so they brought Walken back to do it.
Well, Walken was
pretty good.
He was in the
first. He popped in.
He's great.
Oh my God,
he's spectacular.
He doesn't look great to me.
He's got to be in his late. Dude, we're 40. He's got to be in his mid 80s. He's got to be.
And he was trying not to laugh from the moment he stepped out on stage.
Yeah,
he was so excited, you could tell, like, to be back and doing it.
He's got to be. Like, he was in Deer Hunter in the 70s. I mean, that's...
80, exactly.
It had to be, yeah.
March 31st, 1943.
Yeah, it had to be.
It was good, like, because you never know with the comics. Like,
yeah, you don't know, can you act? Or he seemed a little nervy in the monologue, and then he settled in once he got some laughs. Yeah, he's the one that does the new math bit that I play all the time. When the kids would bring home this ridiculous math with a page that's this long trying to get to something that I could have done up here.
Circles.
Yeah, I'm going, what is all this nonsense? Yeah.
If you just do it my way, you were done in 10 minutes.
We can just do it this way.
Yeah.
That's his whole bit. It's a funny bit. All right, so much more to come. Oh, wait, I got to tell you about this. Pet Supplies Plus. Give you a chance to win tickets to home games all season long while providing the best deals for your pet at over 75 stores throughout Ohio. Enter to win at clevelandbrowns.com/Pet Supplies Plus. Receive a coupon to use at your local store with your entry. Pet Supplies Plus, proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Buddy Garrity this morning, first time that he's seen snow since he was a baby.
Nice.
And he treated it like he treats the pool. Like, very nervous.
Oh, yeah, so was Ace.
Like, what do I do here?
Lava.
What do I do here, Dad? I don't know. So, but he got it sorted out.
Go Thrive. My puppy this morning could not have been more excited.
He did well after that. But I had to tell him several times on the walk that this was not a walk where we're going to sniff things.
Correct.
Like, we're going to move this along. We got things to do here, bud. So much more to come. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. Join Ken and Gerard tonight, 7 to 8, Browns preview show all along the University Hospital's Cleveland Browns radio network. Juan Thornhill joins the program tonight.
I feel like it's crazy that it's already Wednesday.
It's First Friday.
Also,
how about the fact
Friday of the month?
It is the first
Friday
of
the month.
The idea that it's November is harder for me.
Yeah,
it's wild.
It's also weird, like what's happened with the NFL schedule, how it's gotten so spread out that college football is down to its last month, and we're not even halfway.
No.
That's pretty wild. That the way the NFL calendar has now shifted so far back that you're not even halfway, and you've got Ohio State's got 4 games left.
Yeah.
And we still have 10.
Well, we play many more.
A great many more. But just from the standpoint of, in the old days, the NFL calendar started Labor Day.
Labor Day.
And so now we're backed up, and it's add another week.
Yeah.
So here you are, you're not even halfway. I mean, Thanksgiving always felt as a kid like, well, you're almost done with the NFL season, right?
15.
So, all right. The next level is coming up next. We're back tomorrow. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.